Take a look at our live drone images in Eagle Pass, Texas right now. They are getting inundated as well. This week they had mass illegal crossings, more than 10,000 illegal immigrants in just a span of a few days. And there in Eagle Pass, they're coming in from all over the world as well. Agents there reporting they've encountered folks from Lebanon, Oman, Guinea, Albania, and Bangladesh. It is nonstop, and you can see all those masses of migrants waiting for Border Patrol processing in Eagle Pass as well. And back out here live, we are currently averaging 10,000 migrant encounters every single day for the month of December here at our southern border, and there are no signs it is going to slow down anytime soon.
I want you to think about this. For those of you in law enforcement, or maybe you've heard the term from me before anybody else, about 10% the population in this country, about 10% of the people commit about 90% of the crime. So let's go back to the argument that so many people make. These are people who are just there trying to build a better life. And by the way, I completely agree with that most of the people, the vast majority, are coming here for non-nefarious reasons. When you are letting 2.3 million people in a year this border, right, the majority of whom are not being sent back, let's just say it's 5%. Okay, my calculation, by my public school education, 5% of 2 million is, I don't know, what is that, 100,000 people? Let's say it's 50,000. You know what, let's cut that in half. Let's cut that in half and say it's 20. No, let's cut that in half and say it's 12. No, let's cut that. Right. Let's say it's 5,000 people, or 1% of the people crossing the border are coming here for nefarious reasons. General criminal reasons, for drug trafficking, fentanyl, for human trafficking, for theft, for RICO types of behavior, and terrorism. Let's just say it's 5,000 people. Danny, we were talking yesterday. How many people took down the World Trade Center? 19 people. So when we're talking about 5%, and I think you listened to my math, I'm going down to the very, and remember, for those of you who are haters out there, oh, you're a bigot, you hate people of color, like my Mexican wife, yes, like that person, right? Okay.
Exactly.
But I gave you people out there who can't think for yourselves and who cannot think honestly and separate your ideology from the facts. I gave an example that 10% of Americans commit 90% of the crime here, right? So why wouldn't I apply that to anybody else? Are you telling me that people from Venezuela or Brazil or Nicaragua or Mexico or Panama, that they're more enlightened? They're better people than Americans? That could be your argument. Is that what you're saying? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're better or the worse. I'm saying if you just go with the averages, if you treat everybody the same, which you purport to want to do all the time, I know I do.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about. So this is the problem with the philosophy of this current administration.
See what's happening, and they make excuses for it, and they don't want to know the truth. Something else that you also said reminded me of the book 1984. A lot of doublespeak when they're talking about these issues, when they're talking about these illegal aliens, and things that are going on. They want to use these real words that aren't. We don't want to use these words that can be like combative, maybe combative or something. They try to really make these so simplistic in their description of what's going on. So people get this relaxed feeling that, okay, these are just people of interest, or they're just looking at these people, they really aren't that bad, and we're keeping an eye. And no, these guys are terrorists, but they don't want to call them terrorists, especially this administration. They want to downplay so many things here to put Americans asleep. It's like that movie with Roddy Piper, They Live. They just want Americans to go to sleep and be accepting of what's going on.
You felt the same way as tens of millions of Americans, I'm sure, felt 22 years ago after 9/11. We really thought, okay, we've been woken up. We're never going to go back. Like you said, we're not going to go back to sleep again. We're never going to be on our heels again. We're going to be vigilant. We are going to be aware of the possibility, the likelihood of these types of attacks. And I think in some ways we're worse off now than we were the day before 9/11. For anybody over 35 years old, let's say now, there's no excuse not to be aware of reality anymore. There is no excuse. We saw what happened, and I want to get into some nuts and bolts about this administration's handling of the border and why they're doing what they're doing. But going back real quick to the terrorist watch list, and this is from this article from Fox News, and again, this is public information. This was leaked. Meanwhile, fiscal year 2023 broke the record for encounters on the FBI terror watch list, with 151 people encountered at the southern border between ports of entry, a higher number than the previous 6 years combined. Now think about this. That should stand alone by itself. That should be enough right there. 151 people on the terror watch list. Okay, so now this is not that 10% to commit 90%. These are people who we know have committed terrorism. They've been involved terrorists. We already know. Here's where it gets much, much worse. Number one, these are the people that have been encountered. Let's go back. People have come across the border in the last year plus 2.2 million. Those are the ones that have been encountered. I can guarantee you the number's higher than that. The 151 on the terror watch list are the ones that have been encountered. Does anybody in their right mind think that only 151 people on the terror watch list have tried to breach our southern borders, and these 151 are the only ones that were successful?